same unnatural emotions with Brian about being sober and a Holocaust victim. Okay. It's not boredom. No, it's not boredom. Like, you're either struggling with using again, which is understandable. It's not easy being sober. Newsflash. Okay. So, right. It's a whole bunch of stuff. Like I told you, there's more people here than there was at the other campground, and this is the last campground. So it's not just we got to pack up and go. We actually have to go back to living on the street where you're constantly living in fear. Okay. He was saying something about we can go places. We weren't doing that when we were living there, babe. But yeah, he said something about we walk around more. No, that's not what God's saying. Like, we could be taking more walks here and it would make you feel better. And then he said something about trains, we can get to places. Yeah, that's what is that? Get to what places? Right, because this whole entire thing is a madness. We're Holocaust victims. It's illegal imprisonment. Right. Guaranteed, if we were just told, oh, you don't have to pay here till the park closes. Just all of a sudden, a park ranger showed up and said, it's after Labor Day. The season ends on October 12th, and no one has booked your site. So you're welcome to you're both homeless. You're welcome to just stay here until October 13th, and then you've got to pack up and go. I'm sure he would stay here. Yeah, even though this park isn't ideal, or any park, say any park, called us and said, we understand that you're homeless. The park closes for the season on October 13th. You're welcome to come and stay here till the 12th, free of charge. I'm sure he'd do it. Uh, so that's why I was saying we'll see how it goes when we go back. We have to return the laptop, which clearly, if we were camping, we would just take the transportation to return it. Like we do everything else when we go into Quincy, get supplies, return this. He's got to be there the 10th for an appointment. It would be just like anybody does anything, like you would do from your house. The only thing that helps is the walking and the physical activity because it burns off the rage and the fear because what is happening is insane and criminal. The only reason that this other species seems like they're calm like that is because they're being flooded with money. That's why they have to be flooded with money. That wouldn't work on people that are sane because they'd want to know what's going on with the pollution. They'd want to know what's going on with the pollution and what's going on with these US citizens that you have homeless like this in the street. So that doesn't work on sane people. It works on a certain group of people which we can assume are the most dangerous and troublemakers. Right. There's plenty of people that had money, or there's plenty of people that are in housing that want to know what is going on with all these homeless people. They don't just go, yeah, and just keep spending money. Well, I understand if I get Social Security and we end up renting like a trailer in a trailer park in another state, that there's going to be people around us. I don't think, yeah, I wasn't in a constant thing about being in a someone's house with people around, right? It's not that. No. I listen to people in Harvard, and it doesn't mean we're dangerous either. They're at wits' end. They go into mental hospitals, they drink, they do drugs because you just sit there. and they're sober, or at least partly sober, and they're talking to me, so I know I'm not the only person. And they're just like, "What's with all the whores? Like, do you see how these people are dressed?" And like, many of them grew up in Cambridge and stuff. Because the whole thing is a madness. It's a criminal derangement. Why are we still not given someplace to live? Okay, so, well, it's just so that you understand that your emotions are normal and healthy and understandable. I used to explain it to drug addicts and drunks that I used to meet. It's not all of them, but a lot of them. You go, "That's not why you're homeless." Like, they'd be completely beating themselves up talking about how they destroyed their lives and stuff. And I look at them and go, "Am I on drugs? Do I drink? That's not why. It's a Holocaust. Yeah, that's not why. It's not a form you didn't fill out. Like, you got to listen to this. There's people that owned houses and had pensions and they stole it all. And then these people are on the street. You're just easy prey. You're easy prey, and they dominated you with the drugs and the alcohol. That's not why. There's plenty of people in housing that are complete drug addicts and drunks. They just keep giving them money. Right. The only reason you become homeless from using is you don't have money to pay your rent and your bills. You don't just become homeless because you're a drunk and you're a drug addict. Okay. Yeah, because we live in Massachusetts. We are not like in Iowa or something, and then you would get it. Like, if you went to Albuquerque when I did, you'd get it. You just go, just take a poll. Do you use? No. Do you have any history using? No. Okay. Did you own a house? Like, stuff like that. Like all the disabled people at Father Bill's, why are they not in disabled housing? They won't give out disabled housing. Like, some of these people, they're going to collect disabled people and put them in a rooming house as part of their clan group because it's easy prey. They can dominate them and they can take them in as members because they can't get able bodied people to be part of their family, to be part of their community. And then they need all those housing structures to put, quote unquote, their people in. There's no room for disabled people anymore. Right, when you're giving a 19-year-old a housing voucher and pays nothing, where would a disabled person go? When you have all these elderly people that could afford to pay rent and they just don't want to, and they're all taking all the 55 communities and the disabled elderly housing, where would disabled people live? Some of them seem like they get angry when they see people that aren't old because they don't understand they're disabled. I was told some of them have life savings they hide because they deserve to live in public housing and only pay 30%. Why didn't they just buy a trailer in Maine and pay them the monthly rent? Because they don't care how much money you have. You wouldn't even have to do that insane shit you did. All of the people that did that, all of you people that did that, you didn't have to do that, but that you're insane. You're insane with greed, and you're occupying housing that disabled people could live in. It is that. That trailer park is not low income housing. You don't have to hide. You could have $3 trillion in the bank. They don't care. You're paying 130 for a brand new manufactured home, and then you pay $400 in your utilities for the rest of your life. They don't care how much money you have. You're going to save it for your children, and that's not fair, and blah, blah, blah. What you're doing isn't fair. I would think people like that begin to get freaked out and go, how are you not being offered housing? Because you guys are occupying it and they just don't like us. Anyways, just imagine what it's like when you don't even smoke cigarettes. That's why I was walking 9 miles a day and doing push ups and stuff. And you have to have sort of a structured day. Like maybe it seemed to other people I wasn't doing anything. Oh, this isn't good, just the typing online and the talking and stuff. As opposed to what? Going to jail? As opposed to what? You wouldn't even let me go back to college to quote unquote work and support myself. You're completely criminally deranged. That's what rehabilitative alimony is, by the way, so that I can go back to college and work. Because it's not about that. It's about dominating everybody because your brains are dying in your fucking skulls. Anyways, I'm sure it will be fine when we get back to the city. And if it's not, we have a few more weeks where we can camp. It's just the expenditure of the money, obviously. I checked again yesterday. I think what's going on at Wampatuck is before Memorial Day and after Labor Day, they close the non electric sites. You got to ask the state why they're doing that. Yeah, because there's clearly no reason for the 14-day rule because no one is trying to camp that long. There's always availability. It's the people that are coming just the weekends that cause a problem. There's always availability. They never needed to make a 2 week rule, and I still think it was to target homeless people. I still think it was intended to target your Holocaust victims because you want them in the city where you quote unquote provide us services that are not providing us services at all. You're completely criminally deranged. You don't even provide a bed and a shelter anymore, never mind housing or anything else. Just the thing about the you got to have a direct referral from another nonprofit to even be in a housing lottery that they were told they had to have housing for specifically for homeless people. Because I told you what's going on. You have people that are in various types of subsidized housing, and a new thing is built and they want to get in it because they're insane. They would live in three of them if they could. They would live in three of them if they could, just like a house, a trailer, and a pop up camper in the driveway. They would do it. Well, yeah, you've gone insane with grief because you're mentally insane. And some of it's probably has to do with trying to occupy more and more territory for no reason, like all the vacation homes and shit. Yeah, that's just trying to occupy more territory like an animal. In my opinion, everybody that's living like in close proximity to other people is going to have agitation because it's not a natural thing. It's not it's not a natural thing to be that close to people. But like if we were renting a trailer in a trailer park, um, since it seems like this round the year tent camping they're making so expensive, you better you can't even do it. It's not about you're better off doing another thing, you can't even afford to do it, it's so deranged, right? Because some people would prefer to live in a tent year round in like a national forest for obvious reasons. That's just how we want to live. So if we rented a trailer in one of these trailer parks that we could afford, clearly there's going to be people around you, but it's different than just you're plopped in a city because you don't have all those other stresses. Right, it's your permanent home base like a tent, but they won't let you live in a tent. I couldn't even fathom buying a house even if I had money. I couldn't even fathom it. I couldn't imagine going back to living in a house. I just they're going to take it from you at any point, and it just seems like completely backtracking on anything. Yeah, like even living in a trailer as opposed to a tent to me, I'd feel sort of like disappointed in myself. Just being honest. I know when you want to torment a person to death, you would think you'd make me live in a mansion and drive a car and burn heating fuel. You don't even understand how to torture me. But yet you do because you won't allow me to just camp. That's why you won't do it. Yeah, it's just you're fucked in the head. All due respect, you're fucked in the head. Why you would care what people are doing? Like you're fucked in the head. But there's just like you're tearing down fucking tents because you're fucked in the head. We didn't. I didn't go around tearing down fucking projects. There was projects all in Dedham when I was growing up. Did I fucking care? No, I didn't care. I just wouldn't want to be those people, but I didn't fucking care. So yeah, just know that about yourselves for sure. If you just go, what's with these people living in these tents? You're fucked in the head. Why do you fucking care? Just be grateful you're not those people. We could take another walk, babe, and get sodas and energy drinks. Just walk to the mobile and back, not walk the whole 2 hours. Yeah, I was kind of hoping she might have tobacco there. I was thinking that too, if we could figure out how to get on that bus if she doesn't have tobacco. No one around here knows anything about that fucking bus, you know. Oh yeah, I remember my sister telling me her daughter, because her daughter lives in Taunton. She said the bus was pointless. It might be they're just driving it around to get free electrons out on everybody. So if you tried to take the bus and you got frustrated, yeah, that's why they have buses. Yep, that's why they have buses. It's yeah. That's all people can do to get rid of all these things. That's all they can do is keep driving because the free electrons destroy the DNA and give people cancer and they keel over and die. That's all they can do. They can't take up arms and start shooting them dead. That's fully understandable by me, believe me. I was telling Brian, I go, there's people who probably sold their house and all they do is drive. They spend all that money on. Oh, is that a hummingbird, babe? Do you see it? Did you see that? I think it was a hummingbird. Okay, babe. It came over and it definitely wasn't a moth, it was a bird. I think Candy would like to know about that because her and Norm had hummingbirds at their elderly housing. Anyways, um, yeah, like there's probably that's fully understandable by me. People doing that, driving purposely. Yes, we're well beyond. Don't you care about children with cancer? They clearly do. They clearly do. There's no way for normal children to live here anymore. That's just facing reality. There's no way that a child that's kind-hearted and intelligent and bright and witty um, and kind and moral could grow up and be allowed to live here. Like the other people are that terrible and they've overbred to that extent. It's just not possible. They hate everything good, and attractive, and moral. They hate your children because their children are ugly and retarded. Yes. Just adults that hate your children. Yep. So there's not a way for humanity to actually exist on this land piece anymore. That's why people just drive. And that's probably why everyone stopped talking about don't you care about the children with the cancer and stuff. You go, we do, actually, yes. I used to be a child, you know. Yep, I used to be a child. And some of you have been terrible towards me since I was born in 1971 here. So the people driving on purpose know that. I think he's trimming his mustache so we can have s'mores tonight because we talked about it last night. I was like, I don't think I'm doing s'mores tonight. And then he said he likes them, it's just because of his mustache. So I want to take him to the barber or something when we get back. It goes back and forth. Sometimes I have to be more sort of pushy with him sometimes. But I mean, he's an adult man, so sometimes you have to just go, okay, well, that's his wishes, you know. Yeah, it's just person has traumatic brain injury and is in early sobriety and has a lot of issues. So, I think he might be resigned to the fact of taking another walk because he knows he's quote unquote bored. So he's either going to take a walk or he's going to stop telling me he's bored. That's how it works. because I just went over the whole schedule about what we do when we're in the city, and it's really not any less boring. I find that to be a hell of a lot more boring. Hi, babe. Yeah, I know in the woman's bathroom, the mirrors in there are better than the one in there. Yeah, it does look better. You can see your lip now. We'll have to see if you want to go to the barber when we get back. Get a couple things done. One thing that stinks about the Social Securities, I'm clearly not going to know what's going on with that until both the camping season ends and final payment on my trip. Same thing with the shelter. So the way I view it, because I always sort of try to say what's God doing here, being almighty, is I'm not supposed to make decisions based on those things. Like, it just seems like he really wants us to take this trip. Yeah, just whatever it is, it seems like he really wants us to take it. So I don't know. Hopefully that means I will get Social Security, because if I had done all these other things, right, I altered my entire life. I canceled the trip, didn't get, I mean, because I could conceivably have canceled that cruise and eaten $900, what these people did. Okay. These sick people from Penrose at Fair, yes. Extremely, extremely sick. So I could have forwarded my meal. I did set up electricity, but Eversource probably just went, these people are criminals, and shut it right off. Right. They go, someone else is already moving in there, and she's paying their electric bill. Anyways, forwarded my meal, canceled a trip that had a non-refundable deposit of $900. You would think about doing it, right? If you needed the rest of the money for first, last, and security, right? And then you're not even getting an apartment, and now you're not getting a trip, right? It could be something where there's no way we're both going to win a lottery bet in that shelter, so why change the trip based on that? Yeah, it's almighty. He's protecting me from things. As bad as things have been, he's protected me from worser things. So enough becomes enough. It's like it does get slightly a little bit better. Things, right, but the things about the housing, for whatever reason, God Almighty is allowing that to still go on. And things are getting worse and worse because you can, with the taking away the beds in the shelter. Right. You did not offer us other housing. Give me a break. You told me the one in the brand new building called on Manley Street. That's what you told me. But then you offered me some rundown friggin' thing in Brockton. You didn't offer both of us ones. No, you didn't. Okay. Like it was all just a bunch of crap as an excuse to get rid of me, like everybody else. Like everybody else that out of bed. Really, when I see you do it to a whole group of people, then obviously you did it on purpose. It wasn't something Mary did. It wasn't because Mary's housing plan is unrealistic. Apparently, they told another person she doesn't fit their criteria or something for a bed. Yeah, no kidding. What is that? We don't even want to know what that criteria is. That's what I said. And I think you know what I mean, and I'm dead set serious. I don't know what that is, but you're doing something that's disgusting, and that fits the criteria for a bed. Anyways, gymnastic classes or not, there's a lot of swingers and wife swappers that have children. Anyways, Um, I think that person at the Christmas time, she flew into an envious rage, and then they tried to make it seem like she was doing me a favor by pushing for me to go to roadway. Yeah, you people are deranged, man. I remember when she started working there. I've been going to that place before she started working there. Most of them. All she does is throw it in homeless people's faces that she has children. She's taken them to gymnastics, this and that. She's insane, like all of them. So what I'm kind of hoping will happen is that we go through and take the trip. Okay, we don't lose $900 for an apartment that we never got. Right. We don't, as much as it might seem good, spend all the money on camping. We already spent like $800 on camping. When people have the ability to just let us camp without paying. It's not availability, it's just like the public housing and the Section 8s. They're actually closing down campsites because the demand is not there for camping. Not you needed a 14-day rule, and not you couldn't let homeless people camp there for nothing that follow the campgrounds rules. So that's done. This is the first time I've gone over the thing about the state parks and the camping and that all being bullcrap. So that's done now. That excuse gone. Um, right, and that the reason why we didn't change the trip is it's got to be either we wouldn't get lottery beds anyway, or I'm going to get Social Security and we're just going to end up leaving Massachusetts anyway. Because if you get approved for Social Security in November, you're not staying in Massachusetts through April, right? Like after the trip, you can leave the state for how long were we gone? Like a month? Were we gone even a month, babe? When we went to Florida? I think we were only gone about a month. You can probably leave for like a month and a half until they shut off your money. Right. So that puts us to like the beginning of March, which is when we started going to the warming center. It would get us through the worst part of the winter. Right. If you just go, I'm just going to go here and start looking at places to live. Like I said, I want to look around. If I got Social Security, I want to look around before I just plant myself in another state. Yeah. So, they have something out west. I don't know if that's what that couple is doing that has the videos. Um, is it all desert like that? Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do that. No, that's not how you live. But that's right. It's all a bunch of crap because clearly Massachusetts is pretty habitable with the other species gone, and then you'd go somewhere else in the summer that's also habitable, like somewhere down in what you call in Mexico and stuff. Yeah, yeah, probably, babe. Right. It's not that it's not possible to do. It's only impossible to do right now because of the occupiers. Right. So anyway, um, they have places supposedly. I think you have to get a permit, but you can just camp there without paying. Is it? But if it's all like that, right? He has to have water delivered there. I don't think he can afford a trailer. like in a trailer park. So maybe he went, oh God, she hasn't gone through this yet. And then you're gonna find out they won't approve you to live there because you have to be part of their community. Because I see that some of them you have to be approved to be a resident there. Unfortunately, it makes sense to me that that's why they have to nuke everybody. Like, okay, she doesn't realize that people in California already went through all this. Just like when someone didn't realize that they already went through all this lottery crap. Okay, and it's nothing but crap. So I get that now. Well, I think you warn people, but you go, I guess, go submit the applications just so you know, because you never know. Someone might go and things begin to change, and then we'll know things are beginning to change. But so far, no, and it gets worse, right? Because now they're gonna pretend they're gonna give it to you and take it away from you. So be prepared for that. Don't believe it until you actually sign a lease and have keys and you move in. Does it look like I'm moving into an apartment today? Today's the 31st, right? So finally that updater will stop sending me message, right? Just even the wording is grotesque to me. Just things I've talked about online. These people clearly use the internet. You got someone messaging me on a live stream this morning talking about stuff that this person was doing this to me like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Like the person's obsessed with my life and they're psychopathically deranged. I don't know. I'd have to go and view it once it processes and see if you can see the comments. It's the same person that was doing it when I was in the house in Hyde Park. The person calls itself Mosquito Mary. I mentioned that I was told by a professional, by the way, not a homeless person, um, a professional that deals with homeless people, about doing this business where you pretend you're offering someone housing and then you shut off their telephone and then you say that they lost the apartment because they couldn't get in touch with you. So it was very similar to what was happening with me. Right. So the phone service came back on and then they came up with some other excuses. One of them was similar, failed the inspection. That's another one. They do it to people who have vouchers. That's what they do to people with vouchers. They say that the apartments have to be inspected, and then it takes so long, or they fail the inspection, so they lose that apartment. And then they have to ask for an extension on their voucher. The people that I know that had vouchers, it took them about a year to find an apartment. They have to go through a whole It's a 24-hour job. They have to keep notebooks. They're constantly calling these people because they're criminals. Every time the government tells them they have to do something, they make up ways to not do it that are criminal. They must think they're not criminal, like throwing your mail in the trash can and pretending they never got it. The staff members at Father Bill's place admitted to me that a staff member took the mail to their house. They removed people's mail from Father Bill's place and took it to their house. And they called the person and said, "Do you have the mail?" And the person said, "Yes, they had the people's mail." But that person in a federal prison right now? Why would you have mail at your apartment from Father Bill's place? Whoa, that's a red ant right there. Big red ant. Guess it's probably about that time I should think about getting dressed for the day. Well, usually when I'm at a loss of words, that means I'm supposed to be doing something else. What time is it? 11:05. Yeah, I haven't done my regular stuff yet. Do you mind if I do it on the laptop? It's just when I check the two cruise things. I do it for like my enjoyment. Yeah, do you want me to put Pluto on instead? The news is basically just repetitive. Once you watch it for like 20 minutes, it's just the same thing over and over again. Naked Gun 33 and a quarter is on. A 33 and a third. I don't know what that is. And then how do you actually minimize it now? When I do what thing? Oh, Not that it really matters now, but I usually look up to see if Royal Caribbean released their transatlantics. I'm sure people do weirder things to kill time, right? I can tell because it still says 22 that they didn't release them yet. Yeah, the 16 night is the one that I considered changing to if we had got the apartment, maybe, because it's actually about the same price, a little bit cheaper than the one that we have, but it goes in April. Like if we were both going to get into the winter shelter, it runs from October to April. Yeah, that one's still there. All right, so that's pretty much all I do. I don't think I need to check my trip anymore because it's gotten more expensive. I don't think there's going to be any more price drops. Yeah, I don't because we're now tomorrow's September 1st. So final payment's October 6th. I don't think there's going to be another price drop before final payment. And once, if it's after final payment, you don't get a price adjustment anymore. Well, I think that the good thing about that is if they want to sell it out and they sell more and more interior guarantees, that I might get a free upgrade. Yeah, that's what that's what would be good for me. And then I usually go. I did notice that the carnival one is getting more expensive. It's not like drastically more expensive, so they must be selling that one. They don't do those guaranteed things. No, that's what I said. You're not going to really get that through carnival. And it's like they only have like one or two of those a year, whereas Royal Caribbean has more of them. The Trans Pacific. Yeah. So let's see. I kind of doubt that that trip is ever going to have a price drop. Yeah, I just don't really see that happening, especially since they're already selling out the interiors. They're not all sold out, but okay, so now they're doing something today because I watch this. It goes up and down the price just day to day. Like something's going on today where it says it's down $100 from yesterday. Yeah, so let's see what they're doing with this. They already sold out all the ocean views. How the hell? Oh no, this is the wrong trip. This is the one that leaves. This one leaves September 18th. I would hope you. They didn't even sell out the whole ship. Right, this one leaves September 18th. Yeah, that's why. All right, so they haven't even sold that one. Looking at the wrong thing. Okay, so Oz did not go down. Okay. I was like, whoa. Okay. So this one has definitely not gone down because it was like 15 something, I think, when I booked it, and it had already been out about a week and a half because my phone was out. And I don't know if that woman that was trying to become my personal cruise consultant, I don't know if she did try to contact me. Right, because before I booked the Odyssey, I was looking at different ones. And so she would call me and I'd talk to her. And we went through the whole thing and she goes, I don't have anything. She didn't have anything to offer me that was better than what Royal Caribbean was offering me. Okay, so we booked that one on Royal Caribbean. And then she'd still contact because when you're looking at the stuff, they know it's you or whatever. And I'm got one of their numbers for your VIP and all that. And so I told her, let me know when this thing comes out for 2027, this Trans Pacific, because I'm definitely interested. I can see that Carnival does it, but I can't do it April 26th. Can't do it. So I noticed it myself. I went and checked and I went, oh my God. And I was like, why didn't she contact me? And I was like, well, maybe she tried to. My phone and stuff didn't work. I don't know. So anyway, then I don't know if she contacted me or I found yeah, I think I asked for a personal whatever. So then she called me and she didn't want to do it that day. Yeah, she didn't want to do it that day. And then she said something about, I had an interior on the first deck. She said she wouldn't do an interior on deck one. She wouldn't do it. And then she wanted me to upgrade to like deck seven in interior. And then she was gonna call me like the next day, and then she said she could keep the hold on it over the weekend. Whereas if I do it, they're only gonna give me a day, and I agreed to that. I actually then she texted me and said she had an emergency, which happens, and can we do it tomorrow? And I didn't answer her, but that doesn't mean no. I told her I was having problems with my phone. So I didn't want to commit to that and I just left it alone and I wanted to think about it. And I could kind of see that they were doing something with the pricing. Right. It was going up, it was going down. And then I was like, I found out that they released this cruise like a week or a half before that. So I don't even want to know what it cost the day they released it. I wouldn't guess that it cost what I paid. I'm thinking that was probably the cheapest you were ever going to get it was that day, but hopefully I'm wrong and it's the same price as when they released it. So, anyways, um, through this process, though, like she did contribute to me thinking about what I was doing. Through that process, and then there was videos on YouTube about people with the obstructed interiors, which is the lifeboats, and how they were showing it to you and stuff because you get lighting and you're paying for an interior. So then I go and I see that Carnival will actually sell you these things. You actually pay more for an interior to have these. Okay. Something made me, which means it's God, something made me just peek at an ocean view and it was like $36 more per person. And I went, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to get an ocean view. Yeah. And this isn't guaranteed, so I'm not messing up anybody's free upgrade or anything. So, yeah, like hopefully Carnival won't get mad at me that I'm explaining it to people. Okay, if you're gonna pay, if you get caught up in that too, and you go, I'll pay for this, so we have light coming in before you checked what an ocean view actually costs. Okay, maybe you don't want to be on deck one. I don't care about that. Okay, and I think you can actually. No, I didn't check the ocean views. I'll check right now. Right, in interior, you can choose decks. This yeah, now the interiors on deck one are sold out. So if you didn't check the price when they still had them, you might not know this. Okay. It was cheaper to go to deck one. Okay, so now the price has gone up a little bit. And so when you click on interior, it will be like this deck and this deck, it's the same price. But if you want to go up a different deck for some unknown reason, it's going to be more money. Right. So I don't think it's a ton more. I think like you might be paying like 30 or $50 more a person than being on deck one in an interior. Those are sold out. Okay. Um, Let me check. I'm gonna click on Ocean View right now and see what happens. I guess what I'm telling you, and hopefully they're not going to get mad at me, but the people on deck one won't get mad at me, I'm thinking. Yeah, I know, even though it's not guaranteed, right? You go, if you were going to pay for that interior,